Byron fans, we are about to jump in to a full round review with Luke Keary, but since recording, news has broken. Zac Lomax signed with Rugby Australia and the Western Force. I'm here with Charlie White to discuss and react to the news. It's over to an extent. Our game has lost a star, but finally we can put a line through it for 2 years.
We can move on. We can stop talking about Zac Lomax on every show, at every opportunity. I think it's a huge shame, if I'm being honest, for rugby league that they lose a player of Zac Lomax's quality. When he wants to stay in the NRL, his preference would be to stay in the NRL. You know, I think that's a huge, huge shame. People will say, oh, you know, we've got tons of other players. It's next man up mentality. Yeah, of course it is. But Zac Lomax is a star, and he's now going to get put on stage for Rugby Union and potentially bring more eyeballs to Rugby Union. We're always in the code wars, so I think Lomax, it's a shame for rugby league. Happy for Zac Lomax, though, but he's got himself a club. Yeah,
I'm really pleased that Zac Lomax, the athlete, is able to perform because, you know, I've said this before about your time as a professional is rationed, even more so at the peak of your powers, and Zac is certainly in that phase. I'd resigned to losing him anyway. So,
had you? What, since the Storm news came out?
No, I'd resigned to losing him at the back end of last year when he asked for his release. So I was like, well, he's gone. Yeah, and, you know, I think that fell through. And then all this stuff around the Storm, like, good on... look, he is going to be a loss to the game, but good on Parramatta for sticking to their guns. Just, you know, spoke about potentially going to Perth Bears. Speaking to Brent Reid, he was like, they don't see him as part of their plans because of a culture thing, which made me think, well, why do the Melbourne Storm want him but the Perth Bears don't? It's been the saga that just won't end, but finally, now it is. I think, you know, you speak there, Charlie, about, you know, attracting eyeballs to another code. People are going to tune in and watch this home Rugby Union World Cup either way, whether Zac Lomax is there, whether Nwangani Tawase is there, whether, you know, Suolihi, Angus Crichton, whoever's there, they're going to tune in and watch. And there's an argument to say that a backline that consists of those four players that come from rugby league doesn't exactly put the Rugby Union pathways in a magnificent light. That if and there is a possible world where four of those are in the back five, all ex-rugby league players. That it's my understanding that are signed up until the end of it, and then they go, "Thanks for the op at the World Cup. See you later."
Well, I think Mark Nwangani Tawase and Suolihi, I think they played Rugby Union growing up, didn't they? So
yeah, well,
I think
Mark Kane,
Rugby Union and Angus Crichton was a Scots boy, which is a private school which plays. So they can probably take credit for some of those guys.
No. They're not taking credit for their professional development.
No, but I think they can.
They played. Hey, I played for the school football team, the school soccer team, but I've not lost to soccer, am I? Do you know what I mean? Like we can all we all play different sports growing up. Yeah. To a different extent, but these guys all made, minus Mark Nwangani Tawase, and the other three, they made their name in league, and Nwangani Tawase made his name in league.
Yeah, he did make his name, but he had a good World Cup, the last World Cup for the Wallabies.
Why is he now a superstar?
Well, because of what he's been doing on the footy field. Yeah. I mean, and the freak athlete that he is.
In rugby league.
Yeah, 100% rugby league. But he's a big loss to rugby league, Mark Nwangani Tawase. He's a big loss. And like all these players now are losing to Union. It's like this was a chance to keep one of our players in Zac Lomax. And I think Parramatta should have done what was better for the game, considering what I said last week. They did win out of this situation. They got Jonah Pezzett. They got Brian Kelly. They used that Zac Lomax money to strengthen their roster. they have made a mistake for the betterment of the game, in my opinion. Just my opinion, by letting Zac Lomax go.
That's fair. I think you make a valid point, and I accept it. And yes, the game is better with Zac Lomax in, undoubtedly, but you could argue that the game is better when a release clause is signed and the terms are upheld.
Yeah.
Like, because if you make, if you're willing to bend the rules for one, you've got to bend the rules for them all. So what's stopping any other player just asking for a release for whatever particular reason and just go and sign him with another club, or and just saying, well, if Zac did it, then I think it opens up a huge can of worms. And then just on the whole, like, this is making Rugby Australia or Australian Rugby Union, the Wallabies, better. Like, for me, this causes a rift in that camp. You've got four ex-leagueies that are going to be probably four of the highest paid, maybe four of the highest 6 or 7 paid players. Like, if you're like that are likely to jump ship and piss off. Like, it hardly screams like, Zac has spoken about, it's a truly international stage, quoting him, and like, don't bullshit me, mate. Like, I knew you had no aspiration to play for the Wallabies growing up.
Yeah,
it's just nonsense. These are just these are PR lines. Like, that's just not. He didn't have any aspiration to play for the Wallabies in the World Cup. This was an opportunity that came around by poor advice to Zac Lomax.
Terrible advice. His management has let him down. Like, if I was him, I would have sacked my managers, both of them. Clint Tchaikovsky, Steve Gillis, I would have sacked them, got rid of them if I was Zac Lomax, because the fact that they let him sign this agreement with Parramatta when they had no true guarantee.
No, it's like bizarre.
It's actually like some of the worst management advice that I've ever seen in sport.
You just don't do it until the competition is, until you see that press conference, we're going ahead, until the money lands in your bank account, which you should have asked for up front. It's not that. It wouldn't be a world first where a player has gone, okay, show me the money and I want some up front. We look at the new soccer league in Saudi Arabia. You can't tell me that Cristiano Ronaldo and some of those top players that moved over there that got presented with fortunes, didn't go, all right, that sounds great, but I'm going to need some of that up front because your league hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
And call me a skeptic. I need to see some proof that you're actually serious about this competition.
Same with Live Golf. I imagine the guys who got paid shitloads would have taken the cash up front.
Hang on, if you're serious, you make the first move.
Yeah.
I'm not making the first move. You make the first move. Like, it was understood that a number of other rugby league players were about to break contract or request releases. They were smart enough to go, well, let's just put the queue on the rack a little bit and you move first.
Yeah. Let's see if it's real. Let's see if it's real.
You make the announcement, you put the money in the bank account, and away we go.
And I don't think it's any surprise that Ryan Pappenhausen and Zac Lomax both have the same manager and both ended up in this position.
Yeah.
Their managers drunk the R360 Kool-Aid to the highest order, saw the dollar signs, got excited, wanted to cash in for their clients. Good on them for wanting to do that. However, it's such a poor mistake. And it's led to this chain of events that now Zac Lomax is leaving the NRL.
And he's talking about
baguettes, playing for baguettes and Louis Vuitton sponsorships.
Well, I guess we'll see. It could be a master stroke. Well, whichever way, I think league wins. Yeah. NRL wins because you've either got a back four or part of your back five, and 75%, or no more than that, 4 out of 5 of those come from 80% of those come from a very much a formed in league background with the view of going back to rugby league at the end of the World Cup, or if it fails and Rugby Australia in turmoil, the decision-making process is questioned. And again, I look at how squads are formed together, and some people see through the BS. We've had it before with international eligibility here in league, and some Australian-based players come and playing for England that sound Australian, and that's met with skepticism of like, well, hang on, are you here because you want to play for England, or are you here because you want to be on the international stage? And at different stages, it's a case by case.
I think it hurts rugby league, though. You say it benefits, and I think it hurts rugby league. Like the biggest loss, in my opinion, from a spectator standpoint, of Mark Nwangani-Tawase. Like the stuff he does on the footy field is incredible. Like he's must-see TV every single week. Even that Warriors game, he kicked. Did you see that little like bicycle kick he did with the ball? Like that's the kind of play that only he can do, and only he will attempt. He's really creative and like comes up with these insane plays. That's a huge loss for NRL. Zac Lomax is a big loss for NRL, and yeah, I know people say he steps up, but it's still a loss for NRL. The NRL is losing, and all it came down to was because the agreement wasn't up to scratch.
Well, I think that release document has to stand for something, and you can say Para won, but go and ask their fans if they care.
Yeah,
he was their player.
Yeah, I'm still amazed, and I saw the statement from Ryan Madison where he came out and explained why he didn't do it. He got briefed at the last minute, and that is pretty poor form that he was briefed at the last minute.
I'm with you on that. He should have been part of that process from the moment he was muted.
But I'm amazed he didn't want to go to Melbourne as well, though. Like, the opportunity of playing first grade footy, and
obviously he's got his reasons. He doesn't have to. He moved to Warrington last year, came back to Parrot. Clearly not in their plans. It would have been a nice favour for him, but he's got his reasons, and he doesn't have to justify it to anybody.
No, he doesn't. There is a big show coming up with you and Luke Keary. I will say this: one of the great podcasts I've heard you record, Luke Keary and yourself on a Monday. It's going to be an absolute must-see TV. It's going to be like the Mark Nwangani-Tawase podcast.
No, absolutely fantastic. Loving Life with Luke, and we'll get straight into it right now.
This podcast is brought to you by NordVPN, and as you can see, I'm here in a hotel room. I'm away in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I am protected. All thanks to NordVPN. The hotel Wi-Fi, great. Thank you so much, Results World, but I want to be safe, so I'm using NordVPN. When I am away, I like to stay in touch with everything happening back home, which is now Australia, but also England as well, and I get to use all the apps, all the streaming services with one click of a button. In fact, no, I don't even need to click. It is on 24/7, 365 for me, NordVPN, because I don't want to worry about any of those people that are trying to get my sensitive information, my password, my login, my banking details. As we all know, our lives are on our phone now. So why not protect it with NordVPN? I often wish I could be in two places at once, Sydney, Liverpool, but I can't be. But I can be with NordVPN. I get to switch my location at the click of a button, which gives me advantages to be in two places at once. We all know we've got that overseas friend. Have you seen that show? Can't get it. Well, yes, you can. If you've got NordVPN, you can hide your location, change your location, and watch all the shows that those overseas friends get to enjoy that you don't. So to get the very best deal from NordVPN, head to nordvpn.com/James Graham, where you get 4 free months with a 2-year plan and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Click on the link in the show notes.
Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Buy Round podcast. We are joined today by Luke Keary. Just a quick mention, please do like, subscribe if you haven't already, and also our Patreon is now live with 2 extra shows a week. All you have to do is sign up to the Patreon. I'm sure that is in the show notes. Charlie White is looking after that. But Kez, round 1 is done and dusted. We've been saying backstage, trial form out the window.
Fooled me. I'll never watch a trial again. Honestly. No, you know what? It's great for I was thinking about it coming. It's great for the young boys, and I remember I first taste in Charity Shield, but throw it out the window. The Titans and the Eels were fighting it out for for the first place, and they both got 50 put on them.
Yeah,
week one.
The Dragons were woeful in trials. They actually
Newcastle didn't score a point against Bulldogs.
They
You said it week one. You said, "Don't watch them."
Don't watch them. Yeah, don't watch them. Kez, how was the weekend for you? Obviously, you've got a big day today as well with the new TV show starting. Are you excited for that one?
Yeah, I actually am. A bit of flack last night filming in Melbourne. Does that matter? Bulldog?
Oh, that's it.
Is that a bit petty?
I mean, who cares with the film? Like,
it should be fun.
The location of the studio is irrelevant, whether it is Perth, Tasmania, Northern Territory. Who cares? It is what it is.
It should be fun. Oh, you know what I'm excited for? Like Channel 7 are coming and they're serious about it, and it's great for our game, right? They've got this. They've got the World Cup rights to themselves at the end of the year, so they'll have to put a team together for that. And then all the chat is they want to have a serious crack at some rights in 28. I don't know what that looks like, but it's great for our game. We had Peter on in Vegas, and he said it's the first time they've had all these broadcasters kind of all interested in the rights. So it's great for our game, and hopefully, it gives something a little bit different. Obviously, 9 do a really good job, and Fox obviously do a really good job during the week. But hopefully, something a little bit different than what we've seen. The AFL do one, which has been really successful, but we'll see how we go. So we'll ruffle a few feathers, I reckon.
Oh, you're going to have to with the crew that you've got. You'll be in the mix there. But I think it just showcases where the game is at on a bigger picture level. That where we are as a game, we've now got interest. I mean, you wouldn't have to go back that long before we're at a time where major partners, TV networks sort of wanted to distance themselves from, I guess, maybe the image a little bit of the sport and everything around it. But the game has put itself in a really strong position that now it is an attractive proposition for potential partners, sponsors, networks, streaming services to be a part of it. And credit to the players, the game, for showcasing themselves in the way that they do. And it's great to be a small part of that here on the buy round and with multiple things that we do in and around the game. But it's in such a strong position that it does generate interest and competition to have a piece of rugby league, NRL on your network.
Well, it's an interesting one too, because there's all the articles, I'll say pre-Chrissy, about Perth coming in there and 7 kind of have that stronghold in the papers, how it's all aligned and things like that. But 7 have obviously, they're seeing an opportunity in the game. They're seeing the growth and the hype and everything around it. And they've obviously made a conscious decision. Even that World Cup, that decision was probably made years ago. We are going in, and they're actually serious about it. And it's great to see because it'll tap into another audience. We've got Charlie White Sunrise every week. Talking rugby league. Like, honestly, but it is like we're tapping into that Melbourne audience because they turn Channel 7 on knowing the rugby league's on Channel, the AFL's on Channel 7. We turn on Channel 9 on the weekends because we know the boys are covering the rugby league. So we're just slowly turning that dial, and it's very important for that Perth team that we do get 7 on board, and they are genuine partners in the game.
It's a really interesting point you make that. I've never thought of it like that, where if rugby league has a footprint on 7, those people that are automatically on that channel get a taste, get a glimpse of rugby league. It's not just purely the one sport. It's showcasing ourselves to perhaps a different audience, which could perk interest. Actually, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah. I look at the promotion of fighting does it so well. Boxing, MMA, they do it. So the build up shows they're better than the actual fight. Sometimes the UFC countdowns. Sometimes I'm like, it sells you. It hooks you in. So
we'll probably never get those diehard AFL fans. And I'm the same. But as I slowly learn and met a few of the AFL boys, you slowly start to follow them. And oh, the derby's on this weekend in Sydney, or so-and-so's moved from Geelong. You start to follow the game just a little bit, and that's all we need. And even, mate, that Melbourne Storm team, what they've done down there, they deserve to have a lot more followers. But hopefully you tap into a few more of those guys, and then, it'll be very interesting to see. One of your bold predictions was the rights will look a lot different moving forward, and that could be a big part of it. You know, those two free to airs going at it. Fox sits somewhere in the middle. It's a really interesting time.
Yeah, interesting time in terms of how technology and how, you know, platforms display their content and the evolving world that we live in all that. But the future is looking bright, and credit to the players and all the game, as we've said. Anything else happening on the weekend, Kez, or was it just all football focused?
So in Vegas, I was lucky enough, Charlie said, come on the Sunday sin bin. So, all right, I'll do Sunday sin bin. As a player, you hear it every now and then on the radio. You've always one of the most volatile shows I've ever heard in my life. If you haven't listened, tune in. What time? Sundays. What time?
Midday.
Tune in.
Midday.
Tune in
New South Wales, 11 a.m. Brisbane.
Honestly, Gordon Tallis, James Graham, Brent Reid, Ben Dot. It's outrageous, mate. I've walked into the commentary box in Vegas. And Ben Dobbin comes sprinting out, and I've barely met Dobbo, and he's yelling at Charlie going, he can't say that about me on air. He can't say that. You know, Jimmy's going to bring up can I say it? Jimmy was going to bring up something really controversial, and Ben Dobbin said, I'm not going to cut this. It's the first show of the year. I'm not dealing with this all year.
I think basically there was some documents that were released, and Dobbo spent hours to make sure that he wasn't included in those documents. I was gonna say this. Yeah. He was not happy. And whatever those documents were, I mean, it was a long read, like millions of these documents to go through. And I said he spent his whole time I was going to say that he'd spent his whole time in Las Vegas scrolling through, skim reading, proofreading to make sure his name was not included in whatever these documents were, these photographs. But
do yourself a favour. It's crazy. I sat in there the first one as a neutral and could feel it, and then yesterday it was Gordy come in, and that's just if you're not on someone's team, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it was a fun show yesterday. We brought up a few points that we're gonna have a bit of a deep dive into later. But South Sydney, what a statement win. I was nervous for Souths going up there against the Dolphins, who I've got as one of the competition favourites. I really do think the Dolphins didn't adjust to the conditions. A couple of times trying to get on the outside of players in the wet, flirting with that touchline. Some crash ball plays to the edge back rows at the line, which is always difficult. Yep. It did work on a couple of occasions where they played short to their edges, but disappointing from Dolphins. But Souths, wow, what a left edge threat that is. David Fifita, minus the sin bin, would have played 80 minutes. Can't recall him doing that.
Never.
In his career, more of an impact style edge back row, but what a performance from that left edge in South Sydney across the park.
Just watching him, it felt like when we used to play him, like watching Cody when we used to play him in 2018, 19, you know what I mean? When they were in that peak of their powers. Even watching Latrell, it reminded me of when I got to play with him and he was the left centre. Like, I think he had 9 runs, 100. He was in the game, but he wasn't having 20 carries, had to be around the ball, bring back kick returns, push out the back of shape on both sides of the field. It was just like, this is a Latrell that I knew really well. And it was 8 to 12 touches a game. Every touch counted. He was dangerous. His defence, he was aggressive. I loved watching a smile on his face, kicking goals, like everything that made him the great player when he was at the Roosters. And then, not that he he hasn't been great for South, but that totally different role in the centres.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's his best position moving forward now?
I do, personally. But I was lucky enough to have him there, and he was young. He's unbelievable. He's not going to be that guy. I don't think he's going to be that guy that's going to have the 20 carries. He's not Teddy, right? He's not going to be 20 carries a game, 220 metres, It's just not him, mate. He's 110 kilos. He's like a power athlete. Get him in the centres, get him those touches with space around him one-on-one, and let him, he'd be the best left centre in the game.
Yeah, and just be fresh for the moment.
Yeah.
That's an important distinction to make. I think sometimes at fullback it does require it requires a different energy system. I think anaerobically you've got to be. You cover so much ground. You can't afford to miss a trick. And defensively, even the movement patterns, they don't stop moving across the back. I always say this to any fan that goes to Magic Round. There's 3 games on that day. Watch an opposition fullback, or watch when you're watching a game that you don't have skin in the game of. Watch the defensive movement patterns of fullbacks. It's incredible to watch just how much ground they cover.
Yeah.
And with Latrell in the centres, with David Fifita, if you're defending that, Kez, like
I reckon
it's good luck.
I like David. He was 20 carries, 150 metres, and I reckon he's still got a lot left to give. Like there was a few there where he just got it standing still, but if that's a sign of what's to come, it's scary. Because I haven't seen this since he first come in at the Broncos, and even Cody, right? Last year I think we would have played 8 to 10 games. Soft tissues, let touch wood that nothing happens to him, but he looked like vintage Cody, and he's the key to unlock that whole edge.
Yeah, and he kicked that 40-20, which
first one ever.
I think I read. Yeah, I read that yesterday, mate. It was.
He's not known for that, really.
No, and it was such a momentum turner. The Dolphins.
They were in trouble.
They were getting that. They sensed an opportunity. It was their best defensive set of the game, and then Cody Walker kicks that 40-20, and it just popped the bubble.
I think they had 4 sets after that and ended up scoring off the back of it. And it was
a couple of kicks in repeat sets. Yep. Cody Walker just a masterclass in short kicking game. And then interestingly, they took him off with about 10 minutes to go. Just put him in some cotton wool.
They're going to have to do that at times this year, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the right move. Got to compliment Keon Kaloma-Tangi. What a performance from him, as well as Cam Murray. Like Cam Murray's late footwork is absolutely incredible. There's not many that have that ability to carry the football into 3 defenders, completely outnumbered, and then win that collision. And when I'm talking about win the collision, it means standing in the tackle or winning the play the ball. Like
every
the
time.
Opposition can't seem to put him on his back.
He can't. He's so strong.
Create a slow play the ball. He always has that leg up. He finds a way to get free his head to play the ball quickly, and he often gets 6 gains or quick play the balls for Mamazulas and the likes.
Yeah, we probably forgot about him a little bit. Like he had the year off last year. Before that year off, him and Yo, the 2 best locks in the comp by a fair stretch, I think. And to see him back. He changes the whole dynamic of that pack. Keon looked like a proper alpha.
Yeah.
Like he looked like a Adam Fanua-Blake, Fisher Harris, Payne to a certain, like that dominant middle, which is great signs for the Dragons fans who'll get him next year in the middle. But they looked like a very good football team, and they look like they still have a couple more gears to go through. They'll get fitter. They got to stay injury free. Brandon's a big one for them.
Yeah.
Thought they lacked a little bit out of 9. If they can get Brandon back, get him going, it's another point of attack for them. Because they lost Ashton Ward early in the game, which is really disappointing because thought he was good in the trials. We're looking forward to watching him play. There's still that question mark on the right side. Jai Gray was good again through the middle.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it's a massive one this week. Like the Roosters are obviously going to be really disappointed. Souths are going to be up. It'll be interesting to see how that left edge goes against that Roosters right edge, which leaked a couple.
Yeah, well, we're going to come to that in a moment. I think as well for South Sydney, without Brandon Smith, one of their main playmakers through the middle, they have got more gears, more to give.
Yeah,
on the side of the Dolphins though. Shout out to Morgan Knowles making his debut. St. Helens lad, got a lot of love and respect for him. He knocked well over 50 tackles, contributed really well. I just felt, the Dolphins, it was quite a frustrating performance from them, and I do have them finishing up in the top 8, but we look back to last year, started the season 0-4, two losses against the eventual Wooden Spooners in the Knights. This will feel like a game that got away for them.
They have, everyone has said they're going to take the next step, and everything on paper says
they will.
They are.
Yeah.
Last 5 games last year, they had 64, 38, 58, 30, 62 point on them.
Yeah.
They only had 63 times. They've literally just picked up whether in the trials, Titans put a few on them. The second trial, they leaked again. They have to fix that defensively because we know they've got the point. They're 20 to 30 points every week with Katoa there, Hammer. They need to fix that defence. Plath, I think, played reserve grade on the weekend. Donahue was they're going to get these guys with Morgan Knowles, who are all really mobile middles, can play goals, but they need to fix their defence and give Katoa a chance to be in these games. You can't go through the year winning 38-30.
Yeah,
that was 40 to 30.
They've got to grind out some. Yeah,
you're not making the top 8 doing that.
Yeah, they don't want to be a team that's known for just getting in a shootout.
No,
they don't want to be constantly.
That's what the Titans are known for. Right? They'll win some of them, they'll lose some of them, but it's not sustainable.
It's not consistent football either.
Yeah.
You can't get consistent wins playing that style and that brand.
But it is concerning because they were there. It was Roosters, Manly, Dolphins fighting for that 8th spot last year. Roosters put 60 on them. Manly put 60 on them.
Yeah,
the back end of the year, and they were right. I know they had a lot of injuries, but it's concerning for Christian Wolf. They will need to fix that.
Yeah,
moving forward.
A concern for me, from a middles point of view, playing in the wet, and we know that Souths have got threats on that left edge specifically. The right's not bad either, by the way, with Jack Whiten and Campbell Graham there, but their markers, they just clocked off on a couple of occasions and went to their next job.
Jai Gray went through
and just
twice
showing and going from the dummy half, and in the wet, you just protect the immediate. You always protect the immediate anyway, and maybe it was a lack of respect for the people in there at dummy half, thinking, he's just going to pass off the ground and I'll get to my next job, which is the person carrying, or it looks like the person that's about to receive the football. But it was noticeable to see them get, just dipping that concentration early in the season. Wolf will be into his players about that he's got to be.
Yeah, they need to sort that because they've got points. We know they've got points.
We do. You mentioned South's left edge coming up against the Roosters' right edge next week. That right edge contains Daly Cherry Evans. And you mentioned the Sunday sin bin. I wasn't critical of DCE. I think it is his first game.
Yeah, I listened to it.
And he should be given time to adjust because it's a new team. But I think that with Lachie Galvin and how he was spoken about, the scrutiny on him being a new player in a team that obviously had ramifications for other players that were already in the organisation. Galvin comes in and people are saying, well, Toby Sexton's gone and Reid Marnie's gone. How one player can take away the spot of two is beyond me. Compare that to DCE, where he's come in and Hugo Savala was injured, but probably he wouldn't have played in the starting side. And Sandon Smith moves to Newcastle. One is, at the time, he was a 19-year-old coming into this team and faced tremendous, the most public scrutiny around a signing I've ever witnessed in the NRL. Every element of his performance scrutinised. He wins the game against the Dragons with a cutout pass. Kind of nothing to see here. The Bulldogs jag that one. Bulldogs play a game against Penrith Panthers. They lose 8-6 to a Nathan Cleary charge down kick on Matt Burton, I believe it was. Why did that try happen? Because Galvin caused a line break 4 or 5 plays ago. and everything about his performance from this teenager at the time was pulled from pillar to post, and how he's ruined the Dogs' opportunity of a potential premiership. Let's compare DCE coming in. The two players have left or can't play for that team because of him coming in. He's an ex-Queensland captain at the age of 37. For me, the new precedent has been set. Defensively, he was caught out on his right shoulder and his left shoulder. He's got a huge task ahead of him this week. I'm just interested to hear your thoughts. I know, obviously, you were in the position that I am with Galvin last year. Like, it's got to be a disappointing start to his Roosters career, and you know that is the chat around how we can fix this. You know, is it about bringing Hugo in as soon as he's available?
No, it won't be. Like, they've made a decision as a club to bring Daly in for certain reasons they think can take that team to the next level, and that'll either be proven or not proven in the next month, 2, 3, 4 months. But it's a disappointing start. Like, Daly would be disappointed with himself. The team's disappointed. Their discipline was not good. Their completion rate was not good. To walk over there and concede 40 points in round one to a Warriors side missing Metcalf and Barnett, that's not a great start. And like you said, Jimmy, you as a player, you expect when these things happen, people are going to talk about it. And Daly would expect this, right? He knows this is the number one talking point he's probably the number one talked about player, right, at the start of this season. He's this big signing from Manly, played 350 first grade games. He's come over. He's, a couple of kids had to be kind of moved for him to be put in this side. It's no secret they brought him there to win a comp. He's been brought to that club to win a comp.
Yeah, experienced half to partner.
The same way Cooper was brought in over Mitchell Pearce, who was the New South Wales halfback. Cooper was brought in to win them a comp. And that's what, like, he's going to be judged every single week on things like, did he get him back on track? How's his defence? Is he making that side better? Is he making it worse? And the commentators and analysts have to judge him on what we've seen, like you said. But the narrative around Galvin was driven by different parts of the media, not in a great way. Let's be honest. It was clearly there was other things. Clearly people weren't happy with his manager. Clearly people weren't happy with Gus. People weren't happy with how it played out. And then they decided we're going to just keep adding pressure to this situation at every single point with it. And there's going to be people that do this with Daly Cherry Evans. Yeah. There's going to be people that just keep adding pressure, and that's not an unfair thing or a fair thing. It's just, it is what it is. This is our game. This is what you're paid to do. You're paid to watch a player and then analyse his performance, whether it was good or bad.
But, it's interesting you say that. Like, people say, oh, you paid for your opinion, but these are the conversations that I'm having at school drop-off, at the gym, at the cafe, at the pubs, with my social, interactions in general. Like, we talk about the game, and pretty much everything I say here, I'm talking about with people who I know anyway. The WhatsApp groups that go around, like,
and you know what? The same conversations are going on, will be going on internally. I know this from experience, not from being there today. You're having that same conversation. Like, if you perform bad, you're walking into the coach's office going, show me how to get better. The coach will show them, this is what you've done. Like, the same conversations that the public are having, the same conversations that are going on. Yeah. It's not like you just go, oh, let's just forget about that one and move on. That's not what happens. But back to your original question, yes, not good enough from the team for starters. And then Daly would be disappointed with his own performance, as would others in that team. But there's only you get back on the horse and you go again.
But again, and I don't want to, not saying sink to that level is wrong, but the team would be disappointed. They lose Spencer Leniu in the warm-up. Rob Toya pulls out. I think
that's a big one, the Toya one. Hopefully they get him back, but that's a big one, right?
Because that's where he defends next to DC, right? Defender. And they would have spent all those reps in pre-season training together. But again, these reasons that I'm willing to accept them as reasons, but some people will call them excuses. Well, you've just got to perform.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Galvin had plenty of reasons to, he's new to that extremely detailed defensive system. He had 2 weeks to get himself up to speed with it. Like, nobody gets a pass mark anymore. I'm looking at Tottenham Hotspur, 3 games in, their new manager, and people are calling for giving.
I think, what did Ange get? Ange got a month.
Ange's probably got a month, but old mate that's come in now. He's had 3 games, 3 losses. People are calling for him to go. Whether or not we agree or disagree, this is the world that we're in. And
we had the same in 18-19 with Cooper. I think we sat 4-4 going in Anzac. We lost Anzac Day, got hammered by the Dragons. And the talk was, they've made the wrong decision. And like, whether it was the right or wrong decision, as players, we were just in this, just keep going, try and get this right, fight for everything you can. And whether we didn't know whether it was going to come right or not, but you just do. But those decisions are for the club and the coach, and then those players will expect people to critique them. Then, no one's. I don't think any of them will shirk that.
Yeah,
especially there at the Roosters, you know what you're getting in for when you're at that club.
And the talk is going to come of it is Savala.
Yep, it's so because he had a good year. He had a good season last year.
Should Connor Watson come in at 5'8", which could potentially work, especially when Reece Robson returns to the fray as well. Again, another reason. Reece Robson out with that hand injury. Like, there's a key member of your spine, but again, the excuses are out the window. And I feel a bit for DCE, because he'll be made the scapegoat for this loss when there's numerous factors. You mentioned the discipline, both with and without the football. Like, Sam Walker kicked twice in tackles 2 or 3, maybe even tackle 1 or 0. I can't recall exactly the detail, but it was very early kicks, and that's Sam Walker. But we accept that because that's the type of player that he is, and for every kick on play 1 that goes dead and he concedes a 7 tackle restart, he'll set up a try that no one else can do.
Yeah. Daly would have known coming to the club that what he's in for. He's been around the game. He knows if this turns out great, his legacy is cemented, right?
Yeah.
If it turns out not great, it's a blemish on it, and he's going to get absolutely hammered by everyone in the game, which he was getting hammered last year anyway at the end of his time at Manly. Cooper knew the same thing. The reason why you bring these guys in is to influence the team. Right, Cooper wasn't there to run around setting up tries and all that. He was there to influence the team and guide us through different parts of the season and different parts of games where obviously the coach and the club thought we weren't up to scratch in that level to get us a premiership. And part of that is the discipline, the errors, the completion rates. That's part of a halfback's job. And unfortunately, that's part of their job. It's part of them talking to the middles about holding the ball and getting to different spots and pushing around the ball and things like that. It's all part of a halfback's job. That's the intricacies that people wouldn't be able to. You can't measure them.
Yeah,
can't measure how Daly influences the team to get to their kick and put the kick in the right spot.
Can I just ask you on Roosters' philosophy or Roosters' way?
Yeah.
For me, as an outsider looking in, they've never been too concerned about conceding penalties or making errors. Is that a fair observation? It's not high on the priority list.
Well, it's not because like statistically, since Robert's been there, they've been one of the most penalised teams, and then probably completed one of the lowest through the competition through that period. The penalties never used to matter too much. They'd give a lot away defending their own goal line, and they were full penalties, whereas now they hurt a lot more. Since 2020, they've hurt a lot more. And I was there through that period, and we had to make an adjustment where we went, this is killing us. So the game's more about possession now. And if you go under, I think it's if you go under 48% possession, your chances of winning drastically decrease.
Just purely on
Drastically decrease.
Purely on that stat.
Pre 2020, it wasn't as bad. You could get away with having 47, 46% of possession, defend your goal line. The game was a bit slower. Full penalties down there. Every time there's a penalty, you get to stop and have a break. But there is a philosophy there of we want you to express yourself. We want you to pass the ball. They always pass. A lot of the forwards pass to each other. It come from those early days with Sonny Bill Williams pushing Aiden Guerra, Sam Moll. They used to pass the ball a lot. Victor Radley came in, used to pass the ball to back rowers, Boyd Cordner and things like that. So they encourage the boys to express themselves, pass the ball, play footy. We're not going to, clamp down on you ridiculously hard if you make errors and things like that. And it has been a problem at certain times there at the Roosters. And the discipline stuff, again, reared its head on the weekend. I think it was 11 to 4. But that's not coincident. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah, it did seem a bit lopsided. I guess...
but it's not a coincidence. Say there was 3 or 4 that weren't. It's still weren't disciplined.
Yeah.
Still weren't disciplined.
I think the positive side for the Roosters is their ability to attack. And if they get that even share of possession, even being such a lopsided penalty count, they did put up a hell of a fight, and they can create some magnificent opportunities. I thought Billy Smith was great to see him fit. You wonder what could have been for his career, but hopefully he's got an injury-free couple of seasons ahead of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some. It's not all doom and gloom for the Roosters. They come back. They were, despite having limited possession and territory, they still created opportunities. Like you said, they passed the ball around. And
that team, a bit like the Dolphins, they're not going to have trouble finding points, I believe. I think their attack was a little bit, it wasn't great. They were all over the shop, but they've got the guys, when you get it out wide, James Tedesco breaks 5 tackles, Mark breaks 3 tackles, Billy Smith breaking tackles. They're not going to have trouble. It's the other side of the ball where they need to improve. It's the same as the Dolphins. You can't go through the season conceding 30 and 40 points and expect to be in the top 4. It does not happen. You need to be top 2 defensive team if you want to be there at the end of the year. So they need to fix that up.
Well, look, we've looked into the Roosters, but I think credit has to be given to the Wars. Another packed house. Those home games are going to be so important for them. And you mentioned it. No Barnett, who'll be back soon, and no Metcalf. Tannah Boyd, I guess, really, well, he's got to take home the 6 Dally M points. He was awesome.
He was good.
Probably, I mean, again, we're shooting down some halves, and we're talking up another. Is that probably the best game? Is that the best game of his NRL career?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he was awesome. Obviously, with no Metcalf there. I think it was Dave Riccio was saying he had a chance to go back to the Titans. The Titans tried to get him back last year, and he said, no, I'm going to stick it out here. I like Webster. I'll get my chance at certain times. He was outstanding. 3 try assists. He had the try where he ran the ball at the start. He just was all like, it was great to see him just.
Yeah.
He was like he played an on-ball half. Chanel stayed over on the left. Clockstad stayed over on the right. It was good to watch. And it'll be interesting to see when Metcalf comes back, how they play. I think Metcalf has to go back to 7. But it's great to know. Jackson Ford.
Oh, man, he was...
I think he pumped out 80 minutes. He was... when Barnett comes back, Fisher Harris, Barnett, Ford, and they got these young kids on the bench, Halasima.
Oh, my goodness me.
Stowers Smith was really... they can do something.
Yeah.
I reckon they've got a few levels to go to. They would have been disappointed with their defence. I think they missed a lot of tackles. Roosters rolled through them at certain times. They've got a few more gears to go, but they're outstanding at home. Put 40 points on the Roosters round 1. It's a fair effort.
It is. Just quickly on to casting our minds forward to next week, or this week rather. You're a left edge half.
Yep.
You're coming up against DCE, and you've got David Fifita and Latrell, Mitchell, and AJ. Are you bouncing into that going, I'm going to give my opposition some nightmares here?
Yeah, they'll be having a crack. Well, the Souths are going to anyway. It doesn't matter the opposition, but there's going to be a lot of questions asked. A lot of questions asked there. That every chance they'll get, they're going that way. It wouldn't surprise me if they make double the amount of tackles as those guys on the left.
So you're going into the line and you're having Mitchell on his outside, Fifita on his inside.
Yeah, they'll like that matchup. Obviously, a lot of teams will like that matchup this year with Fifita on a half. It's going to be interesting if they bring Grove, because Cody likes to play a lot just with Latrell and Fifita, or his centre and back rower. It'd be interesting to see if they do bring the fullback around, but I don't think they need to.
No.
Like the way Cody plays, he's going to put them under a lot of pressure. It's going to be good to see, because they're going to have to fix a few things there. Whether Rob Toya comes back, that's a big one. I think Junior Pauga's probably the option there. Tommy Talau got injured in the New South Wales Cup game.
Yeah,
so
he did. That's unfortunate.
Junior will either play there, Rob may come back in. Not sure what will happen, but they're going to be in for a big, big, big test.
Yeah, I think the early understanding is that Toya will be back. Alex Johnson is one away from equaling Ken Irvine's record. Latrell Mitchell could have put him over, like he could have, but he didn't.
I know what Latrell would want it to happen next week.
You think?
Oh, 100%. It's worked out. Honestly, has this worked out any better?
AJ
you know
breaks
what
the
I was
record.
thinking? It's actually what Wayne's come out yesterday and said, don't run on the field. This is stupid. These South fans are lunatics. I wouldn't want them near me on the field.
I reckon Wayne's just jealous.
Imagine that.
I reckon Wayne's just jealous because he can't get down there from his coach's box. Or he'd spend all that time getting down to run on to celebrate with AJ. Everyone would be off the field, and then he'd have to work his way back up to the box. I mean, look, maybe Wayne's got his reasons and his rationale that he wants to just crack on with the game. And
it could end up an absolute disaster.
What, for people running on?
Roosters, Rabbitohs fans running on the field.
Why would Roosters fans run on? Just for the crack?
I don't know.
Yeah. Actually,
Roosters, I don't know.
There were some Celtic fans
I seen that last
night. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I don't know. I think it's a huge moment in the game, and I think like this when he does break. We spoke about the popularity of our sport and how we're going on to different networks.
Yeah.
That moment that
true.
AJ breaks the try. I mean, can't just have the prawn sandwich eaters just giving him a clap, right? Well done, well done. No, it's like let's show the passion, show the emotion, get the host broadcaster to get in there and get in with AJ and tell the world what it means to break this record. It's AJ's record to break.
So it's on.
It will be. Yeah, I mean, get that going everywhere. Wayne's just jealous, I reckon, that he's not able to.
I love
be
how he
part
said
of
it's
the
not
party.
our game. Like, that's not our game. It's AFL, but he also was for changing kickoff rules and the bench rules, all the other rules.
Yeah,
He's like, everyone just needs to get up with the time.
yeah. I reckon storm the field, get involved, get some grass while you're on there. Yeah, Roosters. I mean, even Roosters fans get amongst it, break some bread.
There will be a drama, I guarantee you.
I mean, also just putting it out there. I mean, if you're a group of fans, if you go solo, you'll get fined. Like if there's one person storm, but if there's like a couple of thousand, they're not going to hand out fines to them
I'm just
all.
imagining. I know he's not playing, but like a South fan running past Victor and saying something to him, or Jared.
Jared would be. Oh yeah, that's where. Yeah, it could become.
Yeah.
Dangerous. I reckon if Roosters almost in their captain's run, I've got a plan for AJ going over for his second, and then just combine, and then just going over into their.
I remember the Swans
corner.
boys. They were walking down Driver Avenue after they couldn't get off the field and they had to go off with the.
Yeah. Well, Oh, Charlie and Jordan stormed the Swans.
Did you spray any opposition players? Oh my! See, now it's just getting. Come on.
What? So,
Come on.
someone's spring. That's happened. Sorry, yeah, just Charlie and Jordan in the background saying people were sprinkling ashes there. That happened when I was playing at St Helens. It was Kieran Cunningham, and what a player he was. He actually, the next day, they sprinkled the ashes on like the captain's run. The next day, like he was covered in this person's ashes at the game. He was just like, "Oh no, that's disgusting!" Like legit happened. He was like, "I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. Like I know. You know, he was like, I know what this is. It's disgusting." But yeah, I reckon let's get involved. Celebrate our game. Speaking of DCE, his old club, Manly. Canberra, a Golden Point thriller. Ethan Sanders, what a play, what a clutch play that was. Got to give credit to referee, it was Liam Kennedy, that gave the penalty to the Raiders. So much going on, so much pandemonium, looking for blockers. We know all field goals will be checked, but to blow the penalty to offside, because Canberra it was great. It was urgency from Canberra. Tommy Trbojevic, what a carry that was to set that potential 2-point field goal up. But he gives the penalty. It was such a bizarre game of football.
I reckon it was a great game.
It was a great game. Like the comebacks were on, off, on again. Manly out to a 14-0 lead. Canberra didn't touch the football for the first
15 minutes.
Was it 15?
15 minutes.
Yeah, it was bizarre, but it's a game that I've got to be quite critical of Manly. I thought they lacked urgency. And as great as Sanders' field goal was, I'm sure you watched it on your television screen and went, "What? It looked wrong."
He wasn't going to take it.
But where was the pressure?
Yeah, it was a quicker one. Tom Starling actually did a really good job. I think he had that play the ball before. It was quicker than they thought it was going to be. And then I think Sanders said it on the coverage. He said, I was thinking about just putting it in the corner, and then it's kind of quick, and I got it up on the ad line and thought, take a shot here. Yeah. Which is a great,
great
for him to do that, because it's a big risk there. He misses that, 7 tackles, Manly go up and get a shot. They lacked that just at the end. I thought I've been not high on them. They came out, looked like they were angry, like bit of an FU to everyone. Like, you all think we're going to be bad this year. Tommy Turbo, that first try, kind of, you could see there was a lot of passion and motivation there, but that only lasts so long because that middle 60 minutes was not great. They still completed over 80% in the wet. Canberra went at 85. Like, Canberra are a serious team.
Yeah.
Like, they are a good rugby league club at the moment.
They've exercised their demons of last year's playoff series. It appears so.
Yeah. I think those kids would be fine, mate. They went out in straight sets. They probably should have won that Brisbane. Like, they were there. They had that game won 3 times. Those young kids will that's just a blip. Like, that's more of a Fogarty thing, I think. Fogarty might carry a little bit, being an older player, knowing he mightn't get another chance. Mate, the KO Weeks, the Ethan Strange.
Yeah,
these guys are just probably like first finals, like not meh, but let's just go again. Let's go again. Let's get. Yeah. I know they love Sanders there. I know they really like him. He looked awesome. He looked awesome without being
all class.
Well, he got Jake there on that one. They just to not touch the ball for 15 minutes. Most teams are gone. You're done. It nearly got to 18-0, 20-0, I think. But for them to just fight it back, and they nearly put that score on, and Manly did well to claw it back in the end. It was a great game of footy.
Another moment of concern for me for Manly, Jamal Fogarty puts a kick into the corner. KO Week sort of drops it, spills it, and Manly pin KO Weeks inside the zone in 5. 1 play. 2 passes.
Sebastian Chris up the sideline.
And he's up the sideline. That was really disappointing for me. Like, a lot of people in the game talk about momentum and how important momentum is. And I look at it, I agree. But like, how do you turn momentum? Like Cody Walker, 40-20. You can see the try and then your next defensive set. Like, there's a great opportunity to pin the opposition to their 40, 45. Then you get the ball back and you can get back into that arm wrestle after conceding. Really important to wrestle momentum back. That's a way you can do it. A one-on-one strip. Like, sometimes you can get lucky or fortune can favour you with an opposition mistake or error. You breathe that sigh of relief, then you get through that next set. We see so many teams have the opposition make a mistake, then they make a mistake. That error from KO Weeks or that fumble gave Manly this huge opportunity to pin the Raiders. There was like 2 players behind the ball, 3 players behind the ball. That could have been what we call a red line set, where Canberra kicking from inside their own 40. That they ended up going pretty much the full length, and those are what appears to be a small moment, a small opportunity. It's just, for me, that those are the missed opportunities. We talk about missed opportunities in attack. There's a huge missed opportunity in defence for me.
Yeah, it's been their Achilles heel for a few years now. They haven't been able to go toe to toe with any of those big teams through like long live ball periods. And they know that internally, like they know they're not that team that can go, let's go like a Penrith. We'll go one set, we'll kick you down there and jam you in. It's the first set of the game. First set of the game in the wet, and it was good footy, but they shifted the ball. They do it a lot.
Yeah.
They do it a lot under Seabold. And it's almost just like we're going to play you a different way today. And I think Seabold's come out and said it before. We're a different team to these Penriths and Melbournes and things. We're going to play a different style of footy. We're not going to try and do that. That's fine, but you lose what you just spoke about, and you don't empower a pack to go down there and enforce on the other team. And it's kind of like it's a mentality rather than a style. It's a mentality.
Is it a mentality or is it an instinct thing, or is it a bit of both where? You just think, it's a regulation kick. I'm on my kick chase.
Well, that comes from the pack,
chase
right?
task of like getting down there, and then he's fumbled it. I'll accelerate.
Yeah,
boys, let's go. We like it should just be instinctual.
That's the way you're talking like that because that's how you played and the teams you played in. You valued that stuff a lot. You valued as a pack.
Like punish them for half a mistake.
When our 7 kicks us into a good spot, we're going to load up on this team. Penrith do it all the time.
Yeah.
You guys did it at the Dogs. It's not in them yet, I don't think. It's not in their DNA to like really jam teams down, grind them into their own half, catch the ball, get Turbo catching it back on his 50, bringing it back into their half.
And if they are going to shift to Seb Chris, he catches that under all sorts of pressure. And like you force a mistake. And then you send the message to Canberra, you're not going to come round us today. We're not going to let you get away with that. So it's a middle, but it's also that right edge. Like they were too far back.
Yeah.
It was almost like they weren't...
After that first 15 minutes, you felt like that pack should have smelt blood in the water. And gone, we're not letting... Like Horsburgh, Papali'i, who went off for the HIA, Tapani, they had to tackle for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then when they got the ball, they actually just kind of still rolled kind of back down the field. There's it's like a hardness edge that they just missed that little bit of hardness, which probably cost them in the end.
Got to give big raps to Noah Martin that got that starting spot, not only over Matty Nicholson but also Zach Hosking. I think it's I was thinking about this, Canberra Raiders minor premiership, Ricky Stewart and his staff would have come into the pre-season and think it's just about getting over that hump of last year, making a few minor adjustments. Obviously, the focus would have been on the 2 Ethans and how they can play together, how the 3 dummy halves can fit in. That would have been like, Starling shot the lights out last year.
Yeah.
You've got Owen Patty waiting in the wings. You've bought in Brayley, but then a guy like Noah Martin has just banged down the door in the preseason and just said, "Coach, you have got to pick me." And I love that from players. Like I've spoken before about teams in that what I call the middle eight going, we're just going to separate ourselves from the rest of the group. I've spoken about the Dragons with those 4 or 5 really good young forwards. Someone's got to go and separate themselves. Noah Martin is the example of somebody that's gone, I'm not willing to be a squad player anymore.
Yeah.
I know I've got some good quality competition in front of me. Like I think Hudson Young's lined up that left edge spot, but then you know what? There's some good players there, but on the right edge, I'm in. I'm coming for it, and he was rewarded with a starting spot, and he repaid the faith that his coach showed in him. It's a long season, and no doubt Nicholson and Hoskins will get some starting time there. But I love that. I love seeing that from a player that just gets the ball by the horns in the preseason, and then the faith gets repaid in him.
Yeah, he was good. When I seen him on the team sheet the Tuesday, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" I think Matty Nicholson's hurt himself again on the weekend, so he'll probably miss some time. But 2 tries, like they've done such a good. They've done such a good job down there.
Yeah,
I still remember Ricky a few years ago going, "It's so hard to get players down here," and then Joel Carbone was down there, who's now at the Roosters, but obviously helped Ricky with. They went and bought all these kids coming through Harold Matt's SG Ball, and now they're starting to come through. And like you said, they are just they're a serious. They could go again this year if those young kids have to do their thing again.
Yeah.
But blokes like Noah Martin, Sasangi in the centres, like Tomoko's there. Like I thought Sasangi was outstanding.
Yeah, it was the team that I looked at when the teams came out on Tuesday. And 3 names outside the outside the 19. I was like, oh
yeah,
they play NRL.
Yeah,
like
you throw Kobe Black in there to a certain extent as covering the halves.
Yeah. Like they've got depth, and maybe it's a lesson for certain clubs that maybe want to pull the trigger a bit early on their coach. And we spoke about Tottenham Hotspur Spurs 3 games. Well, Ricky Stewart was afforded time down there in Canberra, which not a lot of people get afforded that luxury. He was given time at different points over the past sort of 5 years. Maybe fans have been frustrated about the results and that lack of ability to recruit, but he's had a long-term vision, a long-term strategy with that young. Think outside the box. They went to England first off and bought some top quality Super League players, and they still are doing that. But they went with youth, and they're getting the results from that now.
Yeah.
And we do live in a results-based industry, but sometimes if you've got a strategy and a plan that you not just believe in, but it's evidence-based, and you're going to see some results a little bit later. If you've got you can stay true to the course, it can pay dividends.
Yeah, well, they took Ethan Strange out of the Roosters before he'd done anything. They took Ethan Sanders out of Parramatta before he'd done anything. They've just gone and got K.O. Weeks was at Manly, just playing reserve grade.
Yeah, the talent
identification. Yeah, they lost Jack Whiten.
Yeah.
So like Ricky said, he goes, we can't get. It's hard for us to get really star players down here. They've missed a lot of star guys, but now they've got their own stars that they built themselves, which is even a lot better.
Yeah, I think. Look, I was a bit worried for Canberra just from the heartbreak of last year. A game they really did have wrapped up against the Broncos. I was talking about that game the other day. I think that rugby league completed. Thinking back, like that was. Horrible. I don't know if I've ever seen a better game in terms of controversy. Like that was like I've completed rugby league. That's final boss sort of stuff. I don't know if it can ever get any better than that. When you're on the losing end, it is heartbreaking. Yeah. Canberra appear to be over that hump, and I think. They're going to be a genuine title contender. Injuries permitting, that's always a big Big caveat in that. The Broncos last year's premiers, the team that beat the Canberra Raiders, somewhat disappointing, being kept to 0 against a very clinical Penrith Panthers. Interesting to see the backline shuffle before the game. Again, I think there'll be some clubs that may be looking and seeing what the situation is there. Were the Panthers that good, or the Broncos that bad, or somewhere in the
I think it was
middle
both. I think the Panthers were really good, and I think the Broncos were off the mark, which they were over in England too. They're a little bit of concern. It's funny we're talking about them because they've just won the the premiership, but 26-0, they'll be really disappointed. That was bizarre. The Ben Hunt thing was bizarre for me.
So you think he should start, or or you think he should just be on the bench, or
he should be on the bench, in my opinion. There's not a question.
And with a view of coming on at 9?
Yes.
Right.
I think Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds are very similar players now. They're in their mid to late 30s. They'll probably say it themselves. They've slowed down a little bit. They're not that attacking, especially Ben. Ben had a great running game. He doesn't have that anymore. He's not a number 6.
Yeah.
He's never been a number 6. Ezra Mam has that X factor. He's 5'8" of the year a few years ago.
Yeah.
I get why they did it last year, and when you look
different circumstances last year.
Different. Yeah. That's what I mean. I get why Billy Walters was in there at certain stages. The reason I think they did it was to unlock Reece Walsh, because Billy Walters and Ben Hunt played a big part in that through that final series about unlocking Walsh and just playing nice and simple, direct, give it to him out the back, let him go, which I understand. But
he's our star. He's our man. Like, yeah.
Let's play 2 7s and let him run around out the back. But Ezra Mam is your second best attacking option in X Factor. He probably needs to start, and he probably will start this week. There might have been another reason, but I'm guessing it was because of Reece Walsh. But I'm pretty sure Ezra Mam started that. He did start the World Club Challenge at 6, so it's a bit of a bizarre one.
What I always found with the halfbacks that I played with, if a half was ever on the bench, they were always looking over their shoulder. They were always going into the game conscious of making a mistake, because
it's difficult.
They couldn't get over the fact that someone there is waiting to come on for them, or what is it? I'm not playing the 80.
Yeah.
Like if you're a halfback, sometimes it's a long game, right? Like, maybe the term softening up period is a bit outdated.
Yeah.
But certainly, opportunities, style of play, opportunities are probably more limited in the open exchanges, and style of play in the first 10, 15 minutes are very different to how it looks at the back end. So if you're a half, I mean, you're having a look at the oppositions. What sort of
you want rhythm too? Yeah, you want rhythm.
Like if I'm the 5'8" or the 7, and I'm playing the first 20, 25 minutes there,
it would have been difficult
thanks, coach,
for Ben Hunt, knowing he was starting at left half, then going at 9
the rest
of the game
to
make 50 tackles. That would have been difficult, for me. And he also got run over. Garner ran straight over him at one point out on the edge. So they need to fix that up in a coaching sense. Who's your halves? Just go and play them.
Yeah, they play 6 and 7. They play 80 minutes. We've got this person on the bench as
can cover. Ben Hunt's he's a great 14 option for him.
And he'll likely come on at 9.
Yeah. They've got a sort of few things out there. They obviously haven't started the year the way they wanted. They're going to get better. They're a great footy team. They've got points in them. They come up against a red hot Panthers team.
And there was a few real opportunities they bombed. Like some one catch away and they score. Like let's not. I know they do 0, but this time in September or last September rather, those passes were sticking. and they had the momentum. They were on the comeback trail. Take nothing away from Penrith. I thought it was a we're back and
scary.
Huge win for them going up to Suncorp, 2 points. Contrast with the year that they had last year. Yeah, they started the season with 2 points in Vegas, but there was some uncharacteristic losses from the Panthers. I think that's completely put to bed now. I think they're back where they belong. But the Broncos, whether they like it or they don't, they're a huge football club.
Has the noise started?
The noise started before a ball was kicked, guys. And that comes with the best front row that I think maybe has ever graced the planet, decided to move. And that is going to bring about the storylines.
Carrigan's comments were interesting too.
About PNG.
Yeah.
I thought that was... Yeah.
He's been there for his whole life. He said it. He said, I've never dreamt of wearing any other jersey. But this PNG thing's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Good, it's no fault against himself.
No.
He's obviously just saying how he feels, which is fine. But maybe, is that concerning for you?
Bear in mind, he's not available in their inaugural year. He would be a signing for 2029.
Wow, what, really?
Yeah, so he's not
3 years
he's not off contract.
He's putting his head up 3 years out.
Unless I don't know, but maybe he's looking at the situation and going, well, I'll have Payne's money then.
Yeah.
and maybe he's looking at it as an opportunity to upgrade and extend. I mean, if PNG were to get Patrick Carrigan, wow, that's a huge coup. I reckon it'd be weird seeing Patrick Carrigan in any other jersey than the Broncos, but I'd say the same thing about Payne Haas as well. Said the same thing about Adam Reynolds. There's plenty of players that move clubs.
Has the noise got out of control? So with a the Roosters thing, right? It's not out of control. It's one game. You fix it up. You get on. They got on top of that noise over the off season, and no one really has spoken about, to an extent, anything negative on them. Has the noise got out of control with Brisbane in terms of it literally has been spoken about for the last 2 months? It keeps getting spoken about. There's no way to there's only one way to get it under control, and that's winning. But winning showed the noise still happened when they won a premiership. So how does it? How do you put the noise out? For me, it's even if they're winning, there's still noise. I've never seen it in my life. I've never seen it with a rugby league team.
I think that's what comes with either a really successful Broncos or a really poor Broncos. Remember the gender reveal, the sex reveal? Was it someone that...
Darius Boyd.
Yeah. When they finished with the wooden spoon, they were under the pump for that. This is just a club that people love to talk about positively and negatively. It just comes with the territory. And if you're not willing to accept that as, a player and as a coach, then maybe you need to collaborate.
Well, I think they are accepting it because there's been no strong pushback from inside, right? Madge is basically ignored, which he does. I know what he's like. He just ignores it, whatever. It's outside noise. There's been no strong pushback from the players, but it does eat in. It's subconsciously, the people are listening. They're reading.
And look, this show, your new show, 360, 100% footy, all the other podcasts, the Hello Sport Boys, Bloke in the Bar, Rugby League Guru, all the people that talk about the game, the Triple M's, all the people that have an opinion, we're not talking to the players.
No.
We're having a conversation and we're talking to our fans. We're trying to bring them insight and give our opinion on the game and entertain, really. That's what we're about. But sometimes as a player, you can take this personally. But if you're a Broncos player, there's a difference between being a Broncos player and a Cowboys player and a Raiders player. And there's a difference between playing at and I've witnessed about playing at a Bulldogs, when things are going well and when things are going bad. And this probably isn't at the same level as Broncos. Like, I remember just being like, what on, like, talking about the board? And I'm like, the board aren't playing. And like, oh, the CEO, I'm like, all this, it does start to leak in.
Yeah.
And as much as you say, block out the noise, it's impossible to ignore because it's just there. It's in your face. People are talking to you about it. But that's probably the key for Maguire is having his players ignore the noise, and that's difficult to do because each and every game now is going to be built up, and also not. It's going to be built up as potential disaster, but it's also going to. There's a lot riding on each result more than the 2 points. Your whole narrative of the week is going to be riding on the game. They play Parramatta on Thursday night, who beat them at Suncorp last year, and people will be quick to talk about that. And Parramatta dreadful against Storm, absolutely awful, like just yuck. But people will be talking them up against the Bronx, and if they win, like on the minds of the Broncos players potentially and the staff is, well, if we lose, you know what's going to be spoken about.
They can't win.
They can't
win. Even if they win, it'll be like, oh yeah, you should have beaten Parra.
Yeah.
If they lose, then it's disaster.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're waiting for a disaster.
Well,
they won the premiership, and it was still a month later. People were still talking about.
And you know what? That is a privilege, like to play at such a big club. Like you know, when I look at football or soccer, like there's a difference between playing for Real Madrid, Barcelona, to Everton.
Yep.
There's a difference between playing for Manchester United, Arsenal. You know,
comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory. When you're at Spurs, like there's a huge difference with the club that you play at, and for all the advantages that come with that. Like you think about the Brisbane Broncos players that won that premiership. Yeah. They can dine out on that for the rest of their lives. They're going to be reimbursed by that tenfold. They're going to be brought to functions and be celebrated and be gifts in kind and all that sort of jazz of, the 10-year. They're going to dine out on it for such a long time. And maybe that's different for a Cronulla Sharks that won it, or a Cowboys that won it recently. Those two teams spring to mind. Broncos is different. And the fallout from the scrutiny on the Cowboys and the Sharks after they won it, it's happy days. Yeah, it's all good.
We won one.
We got it. Broncos is completely different kettle of fish, and that is something that I think it's important how you approach that. Your mental framing of the situation has to be one of, well, you just like it should be just you're jealous because you're not a Bronco.
Yeah, they'll go. Different players will handle it differently. Different players will. Some it'll be just get me out of here. This is too much. And even though we've won a premiership, some of them probably have waited their whole life to win one. They've finally won one. You can just the valve goes off. There'll be others that turn it up again and go, I want that feeling again. So it'd be interesting. Like people like Carrigan now have a decision to make. Do I finish my career at Brisbane, or do I go like Payne? Whatever the reason was, he's not going to tell us, but he might have just gone, I've done what I said I was going to do here and come to do, and now it's time for me to go and find a new challenge. Carrigan might be going through the exact same thing. To come out and say that's a bit, it's saying something.
Yeah,
you don't say that unless you're sending a message to someone or you're genuine. He's obviously genuinely, there's a genuine interest there, and then obviously the Barnett news comes out yesterday, which adds a little bit of more, another dimension to the conversation. Well,
and the Barnett news is a big team Madge. Like,
oh yeah, he loved mate in Origin. I watched him. Madge loved him in Origin.
Yeah.
And he like Barney was awesome for that group. And I know exactly why he'd want him there.
Yeah, and that's a big win for. I'm going to call it Team Madge. Like that's a huge win for him if he's got the ability
Team Madge,
to attract him. But
Team Madge versus who?
Insert name here. Yeah, it is. It's a statement. If he can bring him in, it's a huge statement. But it's just not going to go away. And the Payne Haas situation is still fascinating. That will not go away every time they lose. Anytime there's a hiccup.
Here's a question for you. In a club like Brisbane, look into your crystal ball. Is Madge the coach there in 7 years?
No.
5 years?
No.
Why?
Well, it's very, very rare that coaches get that long, and I honestly don't think he'd want this
to be there that long.
Yeah, not with this level of scrutiny. I mean, I don't know Madge personally, but I imagine that if you're him, like, what else can I do? I've delivered us a premiership. It's been nearly 20 years, and I'm still getting this. Like that, like from a human being, from a person side of thing.
Yeah,
like that has got to eat you up. That people are still
the narrative
questioning your like my method's proved, and then like I don't know why coaches do it anyway. It's a bizarre profession to go in. It takes a special type of person, but it wouldn't be surprised if
the ultimate goal, all of them, is to be what Craig Bellamy's done and what Ivan's doing. And Robbo to a certain extent of how long. They all want to be life coaches at a club, build a whole organisation, not around them, but they know that they've had a huge impact on building a culture, like a legacy. Like what Craig's done down there it's unbelievable. Like put it into Premier League terms with like Sir Alex Ferguson, probably the only one over there that's been able to do that. It doesn't happen often. I know Madge has that ambition, and he had that at South too. But he's also proven he can adapt and walk into different cultures and organisations and have quick success.
Only thing about the couple of people you mentioned there, Bellamy in particular, that has stood the test of time. I think the geographical location of that football club leans into his favour.
I think what you brought up about
not anybody. I'm not saying anybody could do that, but I think that very much helps him.
Yeah, I think what you said about Brisbane, the club, is understated, and it does come with the territory. And the Roosters is a little bit similar, and South, which I was at, and the Dogs, like you said, you know when you go there that you are under the most scrutiny and pressure. Yeah, you can go to a different team in a different location, and you know it's going to be okay. They're not going to write too much and speak about us. But when you're at those clubs, it's a different ball game, and it's understated.
Yeah, it's something you have to deal with. Kaz, you've got a plane to catch, my friend, because this new show that you're on, it's being produced in Melbourne, as it's been well written about, and we do not want to make you late. The buy round don't need any negative headlines. So goodbye, good luck. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you later in the week.